committee, and I would entertain after the committee members have looked at the minutes to entertain a motion.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second, all in favor, let it be known by voting sign aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
There not being anybody opposed.
New
Yeah, since
business.
we have a packed house.
Yeah, that's right. New business, we have today Dakota to request and donate and transfer the personal items belonging to Reverend Thomas Linton, great man, great historian, great civil rights leader and within our city. We are his belongings to be stored by the city of Tuscaloosa to the Civil Rights History Foundation and Reconciliation Foundation. I'm sorry. Let me see that again. Tuscaloosa Civil Rights History and Reconciliation Foundation. All right.
All right.
Dakota.
Hey, good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, so in 2021, we purchased these items from Reverend Linton's family for $10,000. Once we purchased them, we realized that they needed to be abated. We had some asbestos and mold issues, so we paid an additional $30,000 to get those abated, make sure they were taken care of, and be able to be preserved for really these historical purposes. After that, we moved to the Tuscaloosa News Building. Tim Lewis and the foundation came out, they cataloged all of the items. It was over 2,600 items, so it's a very large and healthy
Wow.
collection of a lot of the heirlooms, artifacts that were inside of the barbershop for Reverend Linton. We've been discussing back and forth with the foundation about just what to do with those items, and ultimately what made most sense is rather than sitting in the T News building, storage, not really being used, and the foundation having to come make requests to exhibit the items for the different fundraising events, that we just donate the collection as a whole to the foundation. That way they can exhibit the items, use them for fundraising efforts, maybe other options. So this is what the request is today.
Thank you. Questions. Once we tear down the Tuscaloosa News Building, where will do we know where those items will be housed?
Yeah, so the foundation's actually already secured
Okay.
a location. It's Blue Sky Storage, one of their locations here in town.
Okay.
So that's already secured. I believe they have 2 rooms. That is plenty enough space. It's conditioned, so we'll make sure that it's air climate controlled
Okay.
and shouldn't have any issue with the degradation of items.
Okay.
So, may I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
They will belong to them, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was just, I just want to make sure I.
Never to be sold.
Right, well, if they're theirs.
Can I ask?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Dakota, briefly, where are we on the long-term stuff we were talking about a facility, different things, and we talked about long-term. Where are we on that?
So the existing site, which we also purchased at the same time, we've been working with CCR Architecture out of Birmingham to develop a concept of what could go at that site. We've had a lot of conversations with the foundation just on what that could look like, what could be maintained. We've gone back and forth, and currently we're just in the middle of design. Should be expecting something here in the near future.
Is the goal, once approval happens, are we talking 2 years, 3? I mean, what is the timetable we think we would have some type of facility to be on the Civil Rights Trail?
Currently, we do not have a construction budget for this project. That's something that, we'll work with Mayor Maddox potentially on that. You seeing that later in April for the capital projects.
Make a recommendation to council.
But for now, we do not.
And do you think, and because the Linton Barbershop is next to where Miss Maggie's diner was, right there
Yes, sir.
across Miss Maggie. Best fried chicken in town. But right now, we think that this is where it will be.
Yes, sir. Whatever the
It is
concept
whatever
ends
the
up,
concept it'll be on that
it
property.
will be on that property, yes, sir. And let me kind of correct myself. We do have a buffer inside of the budget that could go towards construction, depending on what that cost estimate of that concept is as well.
Okay.
So, along those lines with Mr. Crow's questions, will we be upgrading the present Linton Barbershop, that present site, or will you be asking us to tear that down and rebuild?
It's part of the ongoing discussions we're having with the consultants. We have a lot of environmental reports that we're having to weigh on what ultimately happens out there. But until we kind of hear from them and have this final concept, that's when we'll bring whatever it may be.
So I'm gonna say this, Reverend Linton and his family are very dear to me. I dare not go into the deepness and the depth of why they are close to me, but they're very dear and close to me, and to my family and to the city of Tuscaloosa. Nevertheless, just like we do other projects and we have them kind of directed about with timelines, I want to see the legacy of Pastor Thomas Linton and the things that we do. I want to see that with some grit, some teeth, because Tuscaloosa's history, whether we talk about Miss Maggis, who was Reverend Linton's sister, who's still living, whether we talk about Reverend Linton, who was an icon, whether we talk about the barbershop and what his accomplishments and what he did in Tuscaloosa, what it means to just all of us, black, white, rich, or poor. I want us to be able to put just as much emphasis and timeline into this project as we do any other project.
I think regardless of what we see with the concept, it's something that the community, Reverend Linton's family, Miss Maggie, everyone would be proud of.
So I tell you what, timelines. I'm looking at my calendar. I'd like an update on where you all are in April, the first Monday in April. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Have we already voted? I
No,
believe it's the end of the day.
No, sir. We haven't voted. We need
All right.
a calling for a motion.
You got the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposes? Have it. All right. Thank you so much, Dakota.
Thank you.
Our next meeting of the Council Properties Committee will be on Tuesday, March 5th, 2024 at 5 p.m. This meeting is adjourned. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye.